It's Perfectly Queer with It Gets Better.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Perfectly Queer. I am one of your hosts, Taylor Schreiber, your resident chaos bisexual. And unfortunately, like Jason Derulo, I will be writing solo today. Ever is out there doing really big things, of which I cannot disclose because I signed an NDA. That's a joke. But we are going to have, a really nice, intimate time together for, this first few minutes of the show. We're just going to chat it up. We're going to talk. We're going to go over the show. We're going to talk about the Grammys. I have some things to say. And we're just going to have a generally chill, great time on this beautiful Wednesday. And so let me just go over the agenda with y'all today. So as always, we're going to be chatting with some really great content creators and ambassadors from the It Gets Better Project. We're going to be talking to Winnie and we're going to be talking to Naomi. They are both amazing. I met them before the show. They're so funny. They're so bubbly. You guys are going to have a great time talking to them. I'm going to be asking them, those real hard-hitting questions. Not really, but we're going to have a cute little conversation. And then before that, we're going to be doing our Thriving and Enliven segment. We are going to be looking at a video done by It Gets Better where they're covering by basis. God, my tongue, that was like a lot actually. By basis, April K, who is a musician. She posts videos on TikTok and I believe also YouTube. She is fabulous, you guys. She's come up on my For You page a bunch of times, and every time I'm stunned by just how talented she is. So we're going to be watching a video about her, and that's going to be fab. Oh my goodness. Thank you. It Gets Better for recognizing my Jason Derulo reference. Hi, William. Yes, Lilas, it's just going to be some very cozy Taylor time. William, I would love to hear your thoughts about the Grammys. We'll get there real soon. We're going to get there real soon, but I would love for you to put your preliminary thoughts in there so that I can address them because I have a feeling we're going to be kin in that sense. But, with Thriving and Enliven, we're also going to be talking about right now our February 22nd show. As you guys know, we are in the midst of Black History Month. A fabulous time, always too short, but always incredibly informative and beautiful and restorative and generative and all of those great words. And so to celebrate that, we are also going to be watching a video in a little bit from one of our TikTok ambassadors, TJ, who you guys might have seen me be on the Friends of the Family Christmas podcast with, making a gingerbread house. He made a gingerbread, what was it? A gingerbread tree house, which was deeply impressive because he did it in I think not even 20 minutes. It was wild. So we're going to be seeing him a little bit. But yes, this year's It Gets Better theme for Black History Month is Black and, with videos, quotes, stories, and more highlighting how our intersectional identities complement each other and inform our experiences as LGBTQ plus people, because we are all more than one thing. And you guys know me, I talk often about the intersections of queerness and race on the show, and how it's incredibly important for us to reconcile with and recognize and celebrate the different communities that we all come from outside of our queerness, queer people who are disabled, queer people who, have a different citizenship status, queer people of different races, queer people, just the large, breadth of what queerness can be and who it can be and everything like that. And so we're going to have a fabulous time on our February 22nd show. So I would love to see you all there. It would make me so, so happy. So let's talk about the Grammys. Beyonce, obviously, first Black woman to win Best Electronic Album at the Grammys ever, which slay. She's also now, with her 3 Grammys that she won, the most decorated musician of all time. We are not surprised, we are not shocked, but we are proud nonetheless. We love her, we stan her. I'm kind of mad that I wasn't able to get tickets for her Chicago show, but that's neither here nor there. That's not her fault. My beef is with Ticketmaster and Ticketmaster only. The other thing I want to talk about is a huge shout out to Kim Petras, who is the first trans artist to win a Grammy for Best Duo Performance. And a little bit of fun fact for you guys, she is not, in fact, the first trans artist to win a Grammy. that actually went to Wendy Carlo in the 70s or 80s, I believe. And Wendy Carlo was a classical musician, and she took home 3 Grammys for a classical album that she dropped, I believe, either in the late 70s or early 80s. And she's amazing. Her work is amazing. And it was really like groundbreaking at that time because I think that she was also utilizing like new forms of production and synths and stuff with her classical music. So, like, if you want, a little dabble into queer history, I really recommend looking into Wendy Carlos. Amazing artist, first trans woman to ever win a Grammy. Not to mention she won 3, so like fab, absolutely fab. And what else is going on in the world? What are you guys thinking about? The ticket prices, Sulky. Listen, okay, we'll talk about the ticket pricing real fast, and then we're gonna get the actual show. I feel like a lot of the ticket pricing that we saw was for Club Renaissance, which, if you're not, aware, is like the floor seats, and those were ranging in the several thousands of dollars. I was ready to spend it. I was ready to live in destitution. A lot of people were not, but I did see some more affordable seats, like up in the stadiums. Which, mind you, Beyonce puts on a show that, like, even if you're in the rafters, you're gonna see it, you're gonna hear it, you're gonna have a fabulous time because she loves to make the experience equal amongst everybody. And so those tickets went for a more modest, like 150, 200 to like 450 range, which I think is a lot more attainable for a lot more people. So but again, my gripe is with Ticketmaster. I don't have anything else to say. So a transition. We're going to be moving into our Thriving and Enliven segment. So let's hit it. Oh, is it me? Oh, yes. So sorry, y'all. I got confused. Um, so from learning how to play bass at 12 to posting one Cardi B cover that got over 1 million views. If you have not seen this Cardi B cover, wow, it is fabulous. And now attending the Grammys, which is wild. We're gonna see how bass player April K creates abundance and changes vibes when she walks into the room.
I wanted to play bass on social media to share my love for music. And so I learned this Cardi B song that was the highest song on the charts at the time. And I posted it, and it got 1 million views, and I kept posting videos playing bass, and they kept getting 1 million views. And that really changed everything for me. I'm April K. My pronouns are she, her, and I identify as queer and bisexual. I think what my music says about me is I contain multitudes. That's what I come back to. I love the slow, deep, soulful moments in music, whether that's a slow bass line or a more drawn out, calm melody. And I also love fast riffs, and I love a lot of lyrics that you can't necessarily process. And I love dancing around to the latest pop song on TikTok, and I love participating in fashion trends and the more like exciting, energetic sort of things that we see on social media. And I'm just letting all of it exist.
Presenting the cutest, the beautifulest, Nikita!
In some ways, my activism and community organizing work started at birth or before birth. My parents met in a Motown band. My dad is Jewish and my mom is Black from the South. And so these two really radically different cultures that in a lot of ways are often pitted against each other were coming together to create me. I started playing when I was about 12, which I think, especially for a lot of queer kids, is a hard age. In adolescence, there were so many phases I went to. And I also did the same thing kind of with my gender and sexual identity. I knew that I didn't relate as like a straight woman. Like I didn't fully I like had crushes on a lot of people, but it just didn't feel right. Like there was something different. So I've had to really question that, thinking that I was unlovable because I didn't love in the way that I saw other people loving. One thing that's made a huge difference in being confident in my sexuality over time is seeing other people be confident in their sexuality over time. So when I enter a room as a Black person, a Black femme person, a Black femme person with big curly hair, a Black femme person with big curly hair who's very expressive about my queerness, I am doing a lot in that room. And so by carrying my queer identity with me externally, I'm able to shift the way people are interacting with each other. And that is powerful. Something incredible this year that happened is I got to go to the Grammys, which is cool on its own. It's music, it's my passion, and it's a great time for music, and there's so many amazing artists now. And it was through a brand partnership with a finance company for Instagram related to their Black Women in Business initiative. So it's like so ridiculous to me. I didn't just go to the Grammys, you know? I always wanted to go to the Grammys. I'd be happy to be a seat filler. The feeling of fresh flowers on the table for me is a symbol of abundance. So with roses, they're great because they last longer than most other flowers you can buy. And so I take them out of the vase, rinse them off, lay them out, and let the flowers dictate how I arrange them based on how they look. That's a fun thing about bass playing and organizing flowers that's similar is with bass, the rhythm's so important. It's not that helpful to rush through a practice session. It's better to take it slowly and take that time and play it at the right tempo. And arranging flowers is similar. If you're too fast or too rushed, they break apart and they start to disintegrate and it won't look as good. And because they last for so long on the walls, I'm gonna have to look at it for a while. So when I'm arranging flowers, I'm calm, I'm centered, I'm focused. What I tell people is it doesn't get better, you get better. For me, I've gotten better at handling the challenges the world's brought me. My name is April K. My pronouns are she, her, and I am queer, I'm bisexual, and an artist, and a creative, and a Black woman, and a bass player, an activist, and a flower lover, and a snake weirdo, and a Harlemite, and a Texan, and a freedom fighter, and a rebel, and a rock star, and a dreamer, and a person who deals with mental health challenges, and an advocate, and a lover, and a best friend, and a sister, and a change maker, and I'm infinite.
She's so cool, you guys. The whole time I was just like, wow, I wish I was that cool. She's amazing. I really love that video. I highly relate to like her upbringing in a lot of ways. My mother's side of the family is from Philadelphia, and my grandparents and her, it raised her in a mostly Black and Jewish community. And so I absolutely understand where she's coming from in terms of mitigating the many identities that you interact with at all times. And I love this creative outlet that she's created for herself and the way that she relates herself to her music. I love the messaging about abundance. Like, she's so cool. It's so I just love seeing artists like her who really like have this message of love and acceptance of the self and self-esteem and self-care, like getting their flowers and being able to have a voice and being able to have platforms to like spread that to other people. I think it's a message that we really need more of and more often, always. Like, of course, we should always be cognizant of the many powers that be that try to, sequester our queerness as something negative or bad or whatnot. But it's always super important to also like speak to the joy that comes from our queerness, from our queer identities, from our LGBTQ positionalities, and to just really revel in that and know that that's like a power for us. And I just, so fabulous. Goodness. And she looks so good. Oh my gosh. The dress she wore to the Grammys, she looked so good. You kidding? Fabulous. Wonderful work. As always, it gets better. Your real shout out to It Gets Better and their video production team. They really put it together. They really create a real message. I really, really, really vibe. Oh my gosh. Winnie is so nice. Thanks, Winnie. You're so nice. Anyway, you guys, I made a tiny little error and I fully skipped past TJ's video segment. And so I want to give us some time to look at that right now and to like as a precursor toward our show on February 22nd that I talked about. So here's TJ giving us a little bit of Black history.
It's Black History Month, so you're probably hearing a lot about MLK, Malcolm X, and even Rosa Parks. But what about the LGBT plus people who paved the way for people like me of color? Often forgotten as if we had not been part of the laws of struggle and story that have shaped the queer Black community. The histories and struggles of the queer Black communities are frequently erased and missing from the mainstream in history books, deemed unworthy of saving and even being recognized by society. They often remain buried in the files and the boxes in the homes of the individuals who participated in these activities and who fought for their life. This loss of information threatens to erase us from the history of the queer Black community. It is vitally important that this space is reclaimed and held. Black people have always been at the center of the LGBTQIA+ liberation movement. I challenge you to take the time and learn about the queer Black community and what we have done for our history.
Period. Work. Slay. Am I frozen? Tech is hard. Am I moving? Can you guys see me? Can you hear me? Am I okay? Fabulous. Slay work, period. Exactly, TJ. I love it here. And this is obviously not to disparage Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, all the work that those activists have done, but like the lack of, queer representation or LGBT plus like acknowledgement of like Blackness and queerness working together to kind of fight for civil rights. Like a lot of people don't know that Martin Luther King Jr.'s one of his campaign managers and one of his organizers was a gay man. A lot of people don't know that. I believe his name is Ralph Abernathy. I someone fact check me on that. But it's things like that, or like James Baldwin, or we think about bell hooks, or we think about a host of people who are Black and queer who have given us seminal works and texts and movements to reach our own liberation, especially during this month. It's important to think about. Just food for thought. And Bayard Rusted. Yes, exactly. It gets better. Goodness, always got my back. Love it here. But content like that is going to be shown all month. And like I said, on February 22nd, we're going to have a concerted show speaking to Black history. And it's going to be so fun, you guys. I'm so excited. Anyway, now that I have talked your ears off for a full 20 minutes, I would love to introduce my guests for today, Winnie and Naomi.
Oh my god, the way she's looking down at me, chat. The scammer angle. Hoyo knows. God, I want her to stop on me so bad.
Do you get deja vu? Do you get deja vu?
Welcome, hello. You both have to unmute yourselves.
Can you hear us?
There you go. Yay! Okay, fab. Hi. Oh, y'all are so cute. Your videos were so funny.
Oh, I'm embarrassed.
I too would have folded. It's fine. Anyway, we always like to start our interviews with names and pronouns, just so you know we're all respectful and everything. So I'm Taylor. I use she, her pronouns. I will let you go, Winnie. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I'm Winnie or Win, and I use she, her pronouns as well.
And I'm Naomi, and she, her pronouns as well.
Fabulous. Okay, great. I don't even know where to start. Okay, actually, I do. Tell us all, like, what's your vibe is like. What are you doing out here on social media? Like, what is your vibe, your plan, your schedule, everything like that? Winnie, I will let you go first.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I would say my vibe is derpy and papega. But in all seriousness, I do try to make good vibes for my community. I usually stream Genshin Impact, so I'm very active on Twitch. I'm also branching out lately into YouTube, and I'm also trying out TikTok and Instagram. Yeah, a lot of new things. So maybe I could pick up some tips from Naomi.
Work, yes.
Yeah, but
Period.
otherwise, yeah, I just aim to be like for me, gaming and streaming has been a social tool. It's something that I use to connect with others, and I just aim to be, like the girl that is your next door neighbor that you had fun playing games with growing up. That's it, really. Just
That's so
want
cute.
to have everyone to have a fun time. I know streaming, people say that, oh, streamers aren't mental health professionals. They can't help people with heavy stuff. So don't trauma dump in streamers, channels and stuff. So the way that I approach it is, oh, at the very least, maybe streamers, including myself, can provide people with a distraction and, just some time to relax and find some respite from the struggles of the world. So thank you.
Yes, how can I compete? No, honestly,
No.
No, shush, you're so
no.
funny. Please.
For me, I feel like I started my platform originally to kind of get my foot in the door of like traditional media as a trans person, as a plus size person. Like that was my goal. But as I started to create content and I started to see the community that was getting built because I was just being authentically me, my mindset shifted from trying to make it to just making someone's day a little bit better. I feel like as a content creator, there's so much room for people to just make someone's day a little bit better, help them gain a little bit confidence, all of that good stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, just helping someone feel happy.
So kind.
I 100%
Oh,
relate with that, Naomi. That's exactly how I approach it too.
Yes.
love that. I love that. And I also, I have a following on TikTok, and like obviously I do the show, and it's the same sort of thing. Like me and Ever really want to cultivate, a community of like love and understanding and care and consideration. And so the messages really resonate with me. And I really appreciate people like you guys that are like just using your platforms, just like make the world just a little bit brighter, I love that. I wonder though, like for me personally, I did not have aims to be a content creator. I was just like talking on TikTok, and now all of these things have happened. And I'm wondering if that's like a similar journey, or if you guys like made like a concerted effort. Like Naomi, you said like you kind of wanted to venture into traditional media at first, and now you're kind of here. So like what was the vibe like at the beginning?
I mean, I think the vibe in the beginning was always just like intention with my content, just always having intentions, whether it was
Mm-hmm.
to go viral, whether it was to make someone's day better, there was always intention with the content. And so now, like, the clear intention is just what, as I stated, is just to like help someone feel a little bit better. Cause I feel like there's so much discourse in this world. And I feel like, again, as a content creator, similar to Winnie, we can be an escape for people. And I'm someone who is very comfortable in the skin that I'm in. So I like to kind of take things that were negatively said about me and put a positive spin and make it lighthearted so people learn that it's okay to just be yourself.
Absolutely. Winnie, how about
Oh,
you?
that's so sweet. I love that.
Yeah,
Because,
absolutely.
like you said, there's so much like negative in this world, and it's so easy for us to think negatively about ourselves. We're our own worst critics, right?
Oh,
But, the
so
things that
real.
you tell yourself are the most important. And the
Mhm.
fact that you've been able to turn that around and tell yourself positive things from what you used to view negatively, that's really, really, I really look up to that.
Me too.
Thank
Me
you.
too.
Thank you.
Definitely, definitely. Making the most out of a negative situation is really hard. And people are so rude. I don't want to take it there, but
Yep. No,
I
it's true.
wonder,
It's true.
yeah, and I want to ask like what, and we've asked other interviewees who like are also content creators this question before, but like what are your methods, like your methodologies for kind of like, letting that flow over you or past you, or like how do you cope kind of with that sort of visceral rudeness from
Should I go first this time?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes.
whoever. I'm so sorry. I know
Alright.
I'm the interviewer. I'm supposed to be like,
No,
and
it's
so you
all
talk,
good.
No.
It's
and I'm
all
just like
good.
happy to be here.
Me too.
Well, I would say me three. But I would say to answer the question for myself, I would say that I'm very privileged that I haven't really seen anything too negative directed at me. I know that there are a lot of streamers and content creators on other platforms that they get there's a whole thing on Twitch with the hate raids, people trolling the LGBTQIA plus tag and the trans tag, and just sending mass messages into those streamers' chats saying such hateful things that I won't even dare to repeat. But I think the thing that starts with is in your own community. Like, I always let my viewers and my audience know that this is a safe space for them. They can feel free to be themselves. If like bullying and negative comments are not tolerated, they ever feel uncomfortable, they can let me and my mod team know. And I've always been very, very transparent about like how we handle things, and also being prepared, knowing that there's terrible people out there, or sorry, I shouldn't say terrible people, but terrible things that
You could say
can
it.
happen.
Nobody's gonna stop you. You could say it.
I don't think there are necessarily terrible people. I think people just do terrible things. But
That's fair.
yeah,
That's fair.
just being prepared for that possibility as well, and arming yourselves with the right tools. For example, having like processes in place for when you get hate rated, preparing yourself mentally when you see like comments online that can be triggering. I always like tell myself that if that ever happens to me, I should, instead of responding right away, like I should like open up a notepad file and type out what I would want to say, and if I still want to send it in an hour, then that's when I'll do it.
That's such a measured response.
Oh, thank you. I just know that I'm the type of person that sometimes I'll like say things that I feel like I could have said better, or that could have been delivered in a more effective way, and then I regret. So that's why. Yeah. What about you, Naomi?
Yeah, no, I think that was great. I like the notepad thing for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like with Twitch and TikTok, it's two very different beasts, 100%. Because, and that's one thing I always say, like, I used to go live often, and then I stopped going live, which is kind of what Twitch is, because I feel like it's in real time, so you don't really have time to process it, right? Like when you're live
Yeah.
and you get like a comment or you see like a hate rate, like there's just so much going on in your brain, I'm sure, where you can't really process it, versus a TikTok video where you just kind of post and you can see it. I feel like people are not watching you react. You know what I mean? They're not like looking at you in your face and like, but how I've learned to deal with it is just kind of like I'm at a place in my life where comments like that don't really affect me. I'm human, and yeah, every once in a while I'll be like, "Oh, okay, did that kind of hurt? Maybe a little bit." But it's all like right, but it's just also I'm at a place where it's I feel like hurt people, and I feel like a lot of people who are responding negatively are dealing with things the wrong way and just don't know how to cope with who they are or cope with what they're seeing. And so I've learned to just be like, you know what? Are they really like commenting that because they're like, you know, I kind of look at it as like, are they upset at me? Are they upset themselves? Like, what's going
Or there's
on?
something else going on.
Yeah, and I also just learned to just, if it's really, really nasty, like I'll just delete and block. Like I don't feel like I need that in my space.
Real.
So it's like people are like, oh, engagement. I'm like, I think I'm good on engagement. I can just block them. You know, I'm not pressed on that.
That's true.
No.
Welcome.
Okay, I'm here.
I was like,
Wait,
what
no.
happened? What happened?
I'm here. Okay, yeah, no, I heard all of that. I just like froze. I was like, this is untenable. Absolutely, Naomi. Absolutely. Like, my block list is long. I don't really play about the block. You start saying really untoward things. Like, it's one thing I like, because my content is academically based, And so I like for
Mhm.
people to have a dialogue and a conversation because that's important for that process.
Right.
But the second you start calling people out their names, saying bigoted things, being rude to me, being rude to other people, you're getting the block quickly. It's happening fast. I have a zero tolerance policy.
I agree.
I don't.
Yeah.
But I really like what you said about not letting the comments get to you because people are probably dealing with other things
Yeah.
going on in their lives, and they are kind of using you as an outlet of anger.
Yeah. I've learned it the hard way, and my biggest one is I always talk about this. I got bullied a lot more for being plus size than being trans, which is so wild to me. And
Mm.
I think it comes with the territory of like nuances, right? So as a trans woman,
Mhm.
I'm pretty passable. And so
Mhm.
because of that privilege, I guess it's not the first thing people see. The first thing people see is
Mhm.
my fatness. And so I've gotten a lot of hate comments about that, but I've realized it's just people don't like to see people that are different that are happy. You
It's
know,
true.
Mhm.
and it's just like
It's
we're so conditioned to think that you have to look a certain way to be your best and to feel your best, and the truth is like you can look however you want and feel your best at all times.
That's so true. And especially with the fat phobia, you're absolutely right because I really do think that people get very upset when they see fat people being happy because they've bought the lie that they can't be fat and happy. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it's like, yes,
Mhm.
you can. That's why they're mad at Lizzo. That's why they're mad at you. You know what I mean? Like you're not only are you happy, but you're thriving, you're successful. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like those things in
Mhm.
their brain do not compute, which is their problem. But now I want to talk about something more positive and fun.
Yes.
What are y'all's favorite collaborations that you guys have done so far? If you've done any, like what are your favorite collabs?
You can go first, Naomi.
Collaborations like with people, with brands, with
Anything, people,
It's true.
brands, like family member, like videos you've made with other people that you're like, I really love this
oh,
video that I did with so and so XYZ.
because we're on the platform, I'll be like, oh, it gets better, project,
Period.
duh.
So true, so true.
Duh.
It's true though,
No,
Undertaking.
actually. We're not being paid. Well, we
no, we're
are, but
not.
like not like that.
Not- right. No, there's so many good. Okay, like if we go to like videos, I think. Okay, so this is where it gets wild for me. I know we're in a craft in a field where social climbing is very evident and where you need to like collaborate to kind of succeed. Not always, but often. And so for me, I've kind of like stayed away from collabs like that. I like to collaborate with people that I really enjoy and that I consider friends because for me, it's just a way for me to get comfortable with people. I live in a world, and I think it's because I grew up in LA. Like I was born and raised
Mm,
here. So I don't have that
Oh.
same desire, but I just
yeah.
love to build genuine friendships and then collab. But there's been like collaborations with Nikki Garza, who's another plus size
Mm,
content creator. When it comes to working, I really, really enjoy it. Like genuinely working with It Gets Better Project because they
yeah.
weren't on me. They weren't on me like that. You know, sometimes when you're working with someone,
Yeah,
they're like,
they're hounding you, bro. It's like, would leave me alone.
and they weren't. They were really sweet. So, but that's me, Winnie.
I would say, I mean, I've done a lot of collaborations, and I agree with you, Naomi. It's really hard. I've heard other
Yeah.
content creators also say, "Oh, it's hard to tell who your friends are because you can't tell whether someone is wants to interact with you because they're genuinely interested in being your friend or because you can do something for them, right?"
Hmm.
Mm,
Um, but I actually have a interview series that I run on my channel. It's called Bosses and Banter.
Yes.
And yeah, so basically, I've been doing it with a lot of Genshin content creators, and in Genshin we have this thing where you have like bosses, and the bosses like reset every week, so you can fight them once a
mm.
week and get stuff from them. So what I did was, it's pretty boring, you just stream and do the same thing over and over. But what if when I do my weekly bosses, I invite someone else to do them with me, and then we can get to know them and
So
like
fun.
yeah, hang out with them. We could see how they like to play the game, but also ask them about what they like to do outside of the game and outside of streaming and stuff. So through that, I've been able to meet a lot of other content creators and streamers. And I actually ran, so last June, uh I got to be an NZXT Pride ambassador since I'm one of their
What is
partners.
NZXT? What is that?
Oh, NZXT is a PC hardware company.
Huh?
Yeah, they're
What?
I'm gonna be honest. I have actually never owned an NZXT product so far, but their things are very aesthetic. Everyone I talk to that does use them, like has said that their build quality is like amazing and stuff, and they're really legit. Because I don't know if y'all remember, back like last year, there was that other PC company called Artesians or whatever.
Oh my gosh. Actually, yeah, and I'm not even in the PC
Yeah.
community, but I remember.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Their NZXT is totally legit. So, but yeah, I got to be a Pride ambassador for them, and so one of the things that I wanted to do was I was like, oh, why don't I have bosses and banter, but I'll run a Pride edition. So every creator in June was yeah, they identified as LGBTQA+, and then I also wanted to bring on people whose voices
content
are not
creator.
who are not usually
Content
heard.
creator.
Yeah. So I remember I had on the first person I had on was really they're so well spoken. I think they are also Asian. Their pronouns are they/them. And it just opened my eyes. I was like, wow, this person's so amazing. I want to be able to have discussions about being queer like them. I remember I like cried during the episode unexpectedly too. Yeah, there were some. Yeah, we really had some like deep discussions. I also had Gleanie on, who is also another It Gets Better ambassador. And just like, yeah, the connections I've been able to make. And then I also had a queer community bosses and banter edition. I think that was my favorite because that was actually, we opened the floor to everyone who is part of the community. So even people that, are not usually in a public space, that aren't, streamers or content creators, just like everyday viewers, they got the chance to come up and talk a little about themselves, share their like, coming out story if they want to, or we could just talk about whatever. So
I love that.
Literally, now I'm like, I need to get my posting schedule together. So yes, we do this every week, and then we do the bi-monthly thing, and we do this. I'm like, I need to get myself
no,
together.
I will say I did have to tone down the posting schedule for bosses and banter. I actually haven't done one in a while, but for my next It Gets Better stream, I'll actually be going back to it for the first time in several months. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you already covered my next question, but I'd love to hear, Naomi, your if you do anything, have you run any like LGBTQ plus or like queer specific live streams or shows, or like made any series specifically about it? I mean, I know all of your content is like framed, of course, through like a lens of queerness, but I'm wondering if you've made any like
Yeah, not yet necessarily. Like I've done queer panels that I was like invited to, or
okay, wait,
yeah. So I did VidCon. Last year. Yeah, and I'm going again this year. And I think last year It Gets Better actually hosted it. I'm not sure, the queer panel. But for me, I like to just do my content as of now and just really kind of showcase who I am as a trans creator. What I've really done for community, I feel, is like, so on the app, specifically the Clock app, I feel like they do a lot of, we can't say name, that's my bread and butter, but the Clock app, they do a lot of banning of marginalized voices, specifically like the Black community. So the one thing that I did start was the Black Creator Spotlight, where I kind of every week I'll like share a video of a Black creator and just showcase them and give them that opportunity to amplify a voice versus speak over. I feel like a lot of time creators don't know the difference. So that's where I've been at. I'm hoping to like branch out obviously to like LGBT and all of that, but for now, like I feel like the people that are most silenced have been the Black community, specifically on that app. So that's been like my main goal on TikTok as well.
It is true. They do be suppressing on there. It's crazy. For wild, I mean. Wow, you're both so accomplished. I feel
No
so
way.
happy to be here. I really do. I feel so happy to be here. I feel so blessed. Okay, so what are some of the things that you've done in the community to make other people feel welcoming? I mean, obviously, you guys have facilitated these really beautiful digital communities and probably communities outside of this. But what is something or a few things that you do like with real intention to make sure the spaces are as open as they can be for, other queer people? I'll let
That's a good question.
it's a good question. And I also forgot I was the interviewer again. I was like, well, now I'll just sit back and relax. So whoever wants to go first.
We're gonna like tennis racket back and forth. We're like, who wants to go? Who wants to go?
Yeah.
I'll start. I feel like with me, where I start is specifically in like brand deals. So one thing that I pride myself on is like I'm always looking out for like my fellow. Right now, as of now, it's trans creators. I'm a trans girl. But like, so there's a lot of okay, it's so much. I'm gonna try to like break it down quickly. But like, I've been very fortunate to have brand deals and to be able to work and sustain my lifestyle through brand deals. And I know that for other trans people and trans creators of color, it's not as easy for very specific and clear reasons. But I always, when I'm up there and I'm talking, and if I have the ability, I'm the type of person that's like, there's room for everyone at the table. I don't think we need to feel this sense of scarcity where we don't want to let other people come up with us. So I'm always very quick to like message a brand and be like, hey, like this is a great trans person that you should work with. Or like if I can get an invite to bring people into spaces, right? To like events, carpets, all of that. I'll always be like, hey, these are great creators that I think you should reach out to diversify these spaces. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with what I'm doing in terms of bringing up the community.
Love that. Actually great. Winning.
Yeah, that was a really great answer. Sorry, I'm just looking over because my cat Char decided he wanted to chime in.
I thought that was a child, and I was like, whose child is that?
It's Char.
Char is basically my child, yes. No, that's really good insight, Naomi, because as someone who has not gotten as many brand deals, but knows that in the space, in the influencer space, it tends to be certain types of peoples that tend to get more opportunities than others.
Yeah.
It's really awesome to hear that you're doing that and making space for these other marginalized creators too. For myself, again, like as I mentioned, a lot of my community involvement is more grassroots, I would say. So like hosting stuff like the Queer Community Bosses and Banter, and just making it very obvious and clear to whomever comes by my stream and my channels, my platforms, that everyone is welcome. But what I mean by that is because people can say that, oh, if you mean everyone is welcome, that means like haters are welcome too, and trolls are welcome, or whatever. No, that's not what I meant. What I mean by that is, so I actually used to be, and I this is something that I'm working on. I actually used to brand myself as explicitly family friendly, but I kind of stopped because I feel like when you brand yourself as that, when you attach that label to yourself, there's a lot more scrutiny that you go through. Yes, and there's a lot more responsibility. And I don't want to say that I'm not responsible, or that
but it's different. No, it's definitely different.
Streamers and broadcasters that broadcast with like the mature label are not responsible or anything. What I mean by that is like sometimes there'll be times during stream when I like start malding or start getting angry because
I was gonna say, what's that word? So sorry, I'm not in the gaming community.
Malding is like it just means when you get really, really angry. I think people said that it's a combination between
playing games.
It's like you get so mad that you're balding. I think that's what it's supposed to be.
Okay.
But sometimes I'll get like mad at myself because I can't complete a level or like do something that I want to, and then I start swearing, and I was like, oh, I really don't want to, I don't want. I'm exposing myself on here. Yeah, this is what it's come down to. But I don't want someone like let's say I don't want these parents on Twitch.tv that have their 8-year-olds and they're browsing
like,
channels.
Stop Winnie. Stop Winnie from indoctrinating our children. Hilarious.
So I kind of stopped streaming with the family-friendly tag, but I've always made it clear that minors are welcome. Just don't talk about your age for safety reasons.
Absolutely.
And I think that's I think I've always tried to like shy away from like talking about like explicit stuff, things that teenagers shouldn't be hearing. Not because I don't think that they don't know about what's being discussed or anything, but again, everything for safety reasons, always being on the more on a precautionary side, right? Because I think that there's so many LGBTQIA plus spaces that are online that are only for adults, right? There's not as many outlets for youth, especially with I saw a tweet about this the other day where people were saying that, Adobe Flash is dead. And then you have sites like Neopets and Club Penguin shutting down. There's nowhere.
I was
there's
so
no
sad.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And there's really no place online for young people to hang out safely anymore because now they're going to platforms like Twitter, like TikTok. And there's nothing wrong with those platforms either, but because of exactly, the vast variety in the audience. And then you have, like people that are like doom scrolling, and you see other people and their accomplishments.
I'm people.
and then that does a number on your mental health too, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So just trying to provide a space for youth to hang out, not even just restricted to LGBTQIA plus youth, but just like youth in general, because I think they need that. So.
You're both so responsible and also just so. I mean, I'm serious though. Like, I'm thinking about when I was like younger, and I think about this every time we have guests on. I'm like, God, I wish I had this. You know what I mean? Like, love it for the kids, but I'm a little jealous. Like,
honestly,
wish I had people like this.
Honestly, that's exactly how I feel too, Taylor. I always think like, what can I do that to have been there for my younger self? What did my younger self want, right? And how can I provide that now?
Yeah.
Because when I was younger too, I wish I had like someone that I could look up to, or like someone that could help me navigate my queer feelings more and help me realize that I wasn't straight. I wasn't just into girls because I thought I wanted to be like that.
I had a deep admiration for her. I have a deep admiration for her, and I just see her as a real role model. No, you are gay.
Denial is a river in Egypt.
Okay, well, fortunately, we have to start winding.
Oh no!
It's so sad. It's my least favorite part of every show we do. Anyway, so I just want to know, like, what are you guys doing in the future? Like, what are your future projects? Where can we like find you? Like, look out for you. Naomi.
Oh, okay. To me, future projects. I mean, I don't have any future projects lined up now that I haven't signed an NDA for.
Not fair.
I know. But I have like goals. I think one of my biggest goals for the future is to like book SNL, like the first plus size trans person on SNL. Like that's my end goal for now.
I'm manifesting that for you.
Thank you, but let's manifest together. But where you can find me across all platforms that I use, which is just Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and IG, is Naomi Hearts XO. That's where I post the most and the best content, and it's just so much fun, and it's a good time.
Thank you so much. And Winnie?
I'm gonna follow you right now, Naomi.
Yeah, I'm literally like, okay, what did they say?
Typing it in right now. But yeah, for myself, I am available on all platforms as well: Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok as Winnie. I do spend most of my time on Twitch. I will be streaming later tonight for anyone in the chat who is into
Yes.
Genshin. And on Saturday, I will be doing, like I mentioned, my next It Gets Better stream. I'll be doing Bosses and Banter with Nimbly, who is a queer Black/Filipina content creator. So yeah, I'm excited to get to know her more.
Fabulous. I've seen Nimbly, I think, a few times, actually, like on the tweets and stuff. And they're like,
Really?
ew, let me hear. So that's gonna be fun. Maybe I'll tune in. Oh my god. Okay, well, thank you both so much for being on the show today and sitting here with me and just really like making my Wednesday so much better because goodness gracious, it's been good today. I really, really appreciate everything you guys are doing. I know our audience really appreciates it. I know there are a bunch of kids out in the world and adults and this group in general that really appreciate y'all. I am now one of them. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your week, and I hope that we cross paths again someday.
Yes. Likewise. It was
Likewise.
nice meeting you both.
It was nice meeting
talking.
Nice
you.
meeting you both
Bye.
as well. Bye, everyone.
Bye. You guys. I know every time they leave, I'm always like, oh, that was so nice, but that was actually really, really nice. So fabulous. Yes, go give them a follow, go support them. You know, we have to support each other as a community and our work and our aspirations and our joy, like I said before. And like they are just such cool. Wow. Okay, well, as it is always my least favorite part, saying goodbye to our guests, it's my part now too. Oh, God. But you guys have been so great in the chat. I'm sorry I wasn't like as interactive. I'm just so like enamored by the women who are in front of me. But I just want to, wrap it up, just really sit here with you guys. Time really did fly by. Celeste, sorry. It really did fly by. Time flies by and we're having a good time. But just, if you want to know more about our guests, you can do the command, ! Command in the chat. And, my favorite part of the episode was the whole thing. I can tell you my least favorite part was that Ever was not here, which makes me super sad. But they will be here on our next show, February 22nd. And again, that's going to be our Black and show. And we're going to be talking about Black History Month, about Black queer history. We're going to be having just a fabulous conversation between me and Ever. And I really hope to see you guys there. But that's all I have for you. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, a fabulous rest of your week, wherever you are in the world. And as always, stay perfectly clear. I love you. Mwah, mwah. Goodbye.